If you do this knot, this is crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say it right. You do a perfect 6-wrap knot. See how it's hard to pull tight? Now this is the crazy part. This is 25-pound shooter, one of my favorites. Very low stretch, very hard line. It's a good slip. It's a uni. See how easy it broke? Craziest thing ever, right? All right, watch this. So if you take it, and I've been figuring this out, over the last few years. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I get the same knot with 2 less wraps. You see that? I could probably break it, but you can see that's how I test things, just pulling on different. Now it's so on the shooter it is a much harder line, a lot stiffer, a lot less stretch, a little more. It's obviously stiffer. I use a lot less wraps, 2 to 3 less wraps, depending how what pound fishing line I'm fishing. So if you are fishing shooter and you're having a problem, or anything that's, if you're using another brand line that's stiff and maybe you're snapping off, it could be just using too many wraps. A lot of times you hear guys, even me, say, 6 wraps, but especially when you get into heavier lines, less wraps is better. This is another one. This is a Marizo. He calls it a Marizo knot or Marizo slip. It's a uni double, but I think we call it a Marizo, or he calls it a Marizo, is because it's only 3 or 4 wraps. So double line, I've been using this one for a long time, over 10 years. So double line, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want a really, really, really strong commercial grade knot that you're not gonna have to retie it unless you fray it, unless you hit something hard, or something happens where you fray the line, you're not gonna have to retie all day. That's a uni with the line doubled, and that I'm not gonna attempt to break that. It's hot here and humid and my hands are soft and I'd probably cut my fingers. But that's one of my favorites. That's for ultra strength, is that one. Now I found on the heavy lines, like this 25-pound sniper here, FC Sniper, which is one of my favorite lines overall for sure. I use this one the most. I tend to use a little more wraps. On the heavier lines, I'll use 5 wraps on this now instead of 6 or 7. 6 or 7 on Sniper won't break. It's crazy. You can also use that knot I just showed you, the double, with the same line, and do 4 wraps. But definitely on the shooter, no more than 4 wraps on the heavy stuff. If you get into like the 5 or 5 to 10 pound stuff, a little bit lighter, you can probably get away with 5 wraps. And that goes with a lot of different lines too, like the SX1 braids, same thing. I use on the lighter stuff, I use 10 or 11 wraps, and on the heavy duty stuff, which is like 50 to 65 pound, I'll use like 8 or 9 wraps, and you're fine. I also use the same slips on the uni slips on braid too. Sometimes I single it and do 10 or 11. Sometimes I double it and do 8 or so. But that's what I use for all my connection knots, and I hope that the people that know, or the people that are frustrated, maybe breaking some fluoro off, maybe this will help you not break off as often.